was a lot of trial and error kasi wala kang mapagtanungan eh. So sometimes it was costly mistakes. Sometimes we thought to ourselves, worth it pa ba na nandito tayo? Kasi
Naku, Barry, di ba tayong dalawa or marami sa ating mga Pilipino all over Australia, naging 400,000, more than 400,000 na tayo. Take me to doon sa anong buhay mo noon bago ka makarating dito sa Australia.
I was full-time OFW in Singapore. Talagang haya-hayang buhay ko doon na ano lang, trabaho, and then gala, have fun, kumbaga eat out.
Wala ka namang tinutulungan sa Pilipinas during that time.
Wala naman po, so living the OFW life in Singapore.
Pero bakit nagdesisyon ka na pumunta dito sa Australia?
During that time kasi nagkaroon ng economic turndown sa Singapore, so may mga reduction of foreign workers. Even though the employer gusto ka pa, but then if the labor ministry reduce workers, so you have to go home to Philippines.
Mahirap naman.
Yeah, so I thought, where can we move or where can I move where I could live and work indefinitely and permanently? And that's where I learned about Australia.
Ang galing naman at tama din ang desisyon mo. Pero ako at ikaw at marami pang mga Pilipino, may mga pinagdaanan. Kwento mo naman sa akin yung parang nasabi mong, agoy, kapoy banday diri sa Australia.
Well,
Parang,
it was a culture shock when we got here, and I got here with my partner from before. Napakamahal. It's too expensive to live in Australia. Like, when I was living somewhere else, other countries, ang bayad po ng rent is monthly. But here in Australia, kailangan mo magbayad ng rent every week. And I said, the money that we brought from Singapore, yung dala naming funds when we were working there, every week, nauubos.
yung baon nyo.
Yeah, and I said, grabe pala dito, napakamahal. When you wake up, you have to pay for food, transport, your rent, everything. And then, when we got here on a student visa, pati yung tuition ngayon, binabayaran pa namin. So talagang, yun ang biggest challenge, to be able to survive here, knowing that even your work hours are limited.
Correct.
So yun talaga, that's one of the biggest challenge. How are we gonna survive?
Pareho tayo international student nung dumating dito sa Australia. Yung bang visa, yung hanapin mo yung pathway to PR, naging hamon ba sa inyo?
Yes po, kasi we're not nurses, we're not IT professionals. Nasa hotel industry kami, like my partner. Our challenge was, how are we gonna get that PR? Parang nagre-research kami, umaga, gabi, I stay up all night just to find, kasi we are all DIY. Lahat ng process namin ng visa, I did it myself. Kasi budget again, I didn't want to pay for migration agent. So non-stop research and find ways, talk to people para maka-get ng mga tips or ideas. Kasi from the get-go, day one, our plan, my plan and goal was to be able to obtain permanent residency here in Australia.
Nung dumating kami dito sa Australia, wala rin kaming kaibigan. Nung dumating kami, tsaka lang namin nalaman na may mga kamag-anak kami dito. Kayo ba naging problema o naging hamon din yung parang pag-settle, homesickness?
The challenge was, wala kaming friends dito, wala kaming kamag-anak. So it was just me and my partner, which is my wife now. All our support system, each other. It was a lot of trial and error kasi wala kang mapagtanungan eh. So sometimes it was costly mistakes. Sometimes we thought to ourselves, worth it pa ba na nandito tayo? Kasi napakamahal. It's so expensive here. Kailangan namin gawin umaga, ang gabi, just to add to our income.
So yung mga odd jobs, ano yung mga odd jobs na sinasabi mo? Kasi ako nagtrabaho ako, naging cleaner, naging kitchen hand. Ikaw ba?
Kami po, kasi hospitality. You know, I have my job in the restaurant, yung normal parang full-time job ko. On the side, projects sa mga hospitality events. Like Pink concert from before, nag-work kami dyan. 3 nights, magdadala kami ng mga food, magsaserve ng mga drinks sa mga VIP.
Damagan?
So, yes, all night, gabi. Sometimes, from changing one job to another, nasa bus kami o nasa train, magpapalit kaming damit ganyan. Then, doon na kami kakain kasi kailangan mo naman sa next job. So, talagang constant struggle, working hard. Kasi, for myself, meron akong goal. I had a goal, which is to live here permanently. Hindi rin kami na-distract, hindi rin kami sumuko kasi sabi ko sa sarili ko, I'm gonna do everything I can to achieve this goal.
Ang galing ng pag-overcome nyo sa mga hamon na yun.
Yes po. Every day there are challenges, but then it's part of the journey. Yes.
Ngayon, Barry, ngayong lumalaki na yung mga anak mo, kasi dalawa na sila, di ba? Do you want them na yakapin yung kultura ng Pilipino?
I want them to have the best of both worlds. Na ang mga positive culture and dynamics dito sa Australia makuha nila kasi dito sila lalaki. But still, gusto ko rin matutunan nila yung Filipino ways, yung respect sa parents, sa elders, and yung close bond between family members. Kasi doon tayo well-known na in Philippines, we all live in the same house. Hanggang sa grown-up, adults live together. Kumbaga, dito, I want them to realize when they're growing up na they always have a home with us. I have my family with me, na talagang solid yung pagmamahal namin sa kanila, and then we have a solid core na nandito to support you. Ano man ang gusto mong gawin sa buhay, whatever endeavor you wanna go, kumbaga nakasupport yung family.
Sa loob ba ng bahay ninyo, nagtatagalog ba kayo?
Yes po.
Kasi yung mga bata, pag nag-aaral na, English na, puro English. So sa bahay niyo, anong lingwahe ang gamit ninyo?
Mix of Filipino and English kasi ang English naman natututunan na nila sa school So we try our best na maka-learn sila makipag-usap in Filipino, and it's also we think best na dalawa yung salita nila, na marunong sila mag-Tagalog.
Alam mo, dito sa Australia, lalong-lalo na ngayon, mahal na ang lahat, bahay, pero ikaw naitaguyod mo, makakuha kayo ng sariling bahay. Congratulations.
Blessing. Yes.
Oo naman. Pero, ang tanong ko sa'yo, kasi di ba may nakilala kang mga kababayan dito, ano naman yung best advice na in-apply mo sa buhay mo na sinabi nila makakatulong sa'yo to?
Halos sa lahat ng mga nakilala namin, yun din palaging advice nila na huwag kayong masyadong magastos kasi mahal nga dito sa Australia. Kumbaga yun yung pagtitipid. Hanggang ngayon, ganun po kami.
So paanong pagtitipid ang...
Like sa bahay, if you open up our fridge, mga pagkain dyan naka-box. Kasi nagluluto na ako in advance.
Buong linggo?
In bulk, in bulk po. Kasi ayoko na rin magluto pa yung asawa ko, mapagod pa siya. Nagluluto na ako in bulk during my day off. Naka-freezer, i-hit na nila. At least yun, nakatipid na kami, hindi pa sila mahihirapan.
Barry, marami tayong pinagdaanan bilang mga migrants dito sa Australia nung pagsisimula natin dito, di ba? Pero ano yung mapapayo mo una sa mga nagsisimula ngayon dito sa Australia? Pangalawa, dun sa mga kababayan natin na nagpaplanong pumunta dito.
From the get-go, alamin nyo yung goal nyo rito. Find out about your purpose, bakit kayo nandito sa Australia. Whether is it on a temporary visa, or working, or student. Try your best malaman ano talaga yung main goal nyo. Kasi yun yung parang beacon mo na... Kasi dito po, madali tayong ma-distract Masilaw na, uy, malaki yung sahod doon ako. Uy, malapit sa trabaho to, doon ako.
So, focus ka lang.
Focus ka lang and work hard for that goal. Pero wag rin kalimutan na mag-enjoy. Kasi hindi dito pwedeng puro trabaho or puro aral lang.
Totoo.
Kailangan make friends, socialize. Ayun, minsan, bumili ka rin ng para sa sarili mo. Para
reward.
Reward yourself sometimes. Para, kumbaga, in the long run, mas balance yung maging outlook sa life in Australia.
Tama. Para naman sa mga, kayang preparation na pwede nilang gawin?
Do your research, kasi lahat naman available online, and then join forums, join chat groups kung gusto nyo makapag-ask ng mga advice or tips ng mga naandito na who went through the same journey. And just do it. Kasi ako, I can say na talagang we are living our best life dito in Australia now because we worked hard for it before.
Maraming salamat, Barry.
Thank you.